11 years. I've been a jerk. Wife and I've been together 11 years. We've had lots of loving times and memories. Started a haunted house business. Volunteers came over. She spent all her time mainly with 2 teenagers. I'm 37. She cheated on me with one of them. Commences to tell me 11 years mostly have been bad. Okay, I'm a jerk. I'm changing. Doing the 180 and all that. Failing the last few days. However, my wife decided to break and tell me everything and then tells me she wants to be loved, and to be loved by me. We had a good time the other day. Twice in a row and I went we are having fun. Now she says she doesn't feel the way she should when having fun. She says she wants time. After this, just yesterday she said she's on her period. Now, she says she can't do it. I need her. I'm failing at the 180. I don't drink and I'm drunk. I can't see straight. I miss her badly. Would someone please help me? Talk to me. Help me with something. Come to find out my anger wasn't near as bad as she let on. I'm still working on it though. Have terrible road rage. Almost had 2 accidents in the last few days and I blessed them. Instead of cussed them and didn't realize I'd even did it, she noticed and commented on it. I'm lonely, I miss my wife and I'm hurting so badly. Hence the drinking. I'm here to feel comfort because I do not want to cheat on my wife. But I need her. I know I'm breaking the code by drinking and all, but I'm so hurt right now. She's blaming my jerk as being the cause of everything, including her infidelity. But I'm thinking, what can that be worse than cheating? Reading you guys' posts, nothing justifies cheating. I wished I could just leave, but I love her too much. I guess. I'm sorry. I know it's ridiculous, but anyways, I'm feeling terrible and unlike my wife. I have no one else. My friends, the 2 best friends I have, are always busy. He works like 16-hour days, farmer hand. Literally, he's like up before 4 and doesn't leave till 10 or some crap. TJ works 30 hours at PC shop, my old job, and goes to full-time classes. That's it. I have no one else. So please, don't pass me off as some jerk trying to get attention. I know, I am lonely. I'm sorry, I can't explain it. I've been a jerk to the woman I love dearly for so long. Like, we'd be at my parents' for the weekend or holidays and I'd be a jerk to her. Talk rudely to her. Call her retarded. I'm such a ducking idiot. Like my bro says though, I deserved her to leave. I deserved her to kick me back, but instead, she cheated. Good God, I'm an idiot. How do you leave though? How can you leave when it hurts so bad to be away from someone you love dearly? She just left and she was so nice to me, even being drunk. She's so nice to me. Now, earlier today, when I was hurting badly, she barely held my hand, but she said it was because she didn't know how to react. Damn, I just noticed all the red underlines. I'm not trying to correct. Please bear with me. The guy, man, I know it. I know she has my number. But what do I do? Haha, I just noticed. I may be drunk, but you said here instead of her. Pardon me, man. I'm trying to laugh. I know, not seriously, I know I need to do that. But dadgummit, it's so freaking hard. I'm scared to be alone, sure, but damn it, we have a daughter. Forgot to add that, sorry, and she's almost 3. Taking a few seconds to try and think soberly. She says she'll never be with another man. I know. Bull crap, right, but she can't stand the thought of trusting another man with our daughter. Sure, I can understand that feeling, but she said if we fail, she'll be alone. So I asked, what is it with Michael then? Seriously, but she brought up the no contact rule. She's the one ignoring him and texting etc. when they were here to act last night. She didn't say 2 words to him hardly. She stayed away from him and he stayed away from me. I think I scared them. I went to their house and confronted them. Told them I should bury them both, friends, but I was trying to be nice and a changed man. They were scared out their wits, but that was my intention. Instead of hurting some teenager that doesn't know how serious it is to mess with a man's wife. I tried to teach a lesson. I told them how I literally saw a hole get put through a man because of an affair. Crap don't go nicely. I think they got the point. So yeah, no contact etc. She's upset, really upset about the whole thing, but it wasn't just once. It was twice. Second time was because she went and partied with them and she did it. Man, if I could be okay in the morning to leave, I think I'll pack my crap up and go to my mom's. But then, she's 30 minutes away from the haunt. I have to finish the season out. I'm sorry for such long post. I'm just trying to vent a little. I'm trying to go sleep some of this poison off. I'm usually funny as he-11 when I'm drunk, but being depressed about this crap really changes the game field. My wife's newfound best friend is Scarlett. She's dating the toxic enabler of Michael, Ryan, so if I fire them both, it pisses off my wife and Scarlett too. Why does she think she's got a right to be pissed anyways? Seriously, you're late for work. Volunteers, sure, but they're still getting cash bonuses and entering to win expensive gifts. What a job. Comments. You deleted the part where you found out your wife had left your home in the middle of the night to go to your employee's house for 5 guys, which you interrupted at 3 a.m. or something like that and found your wife hiding in a closet in the house. Correct? Also, your wife has been committing adultery against you since you married and has suffered no consequences. That makes you weak. You have few friends, your mother keeps you away from her. And no church, but you have non-traditional religious beliefs. What non-traditional beliefs? You are not constricted by the Puritan marriage ideal that the rest of the English-speaking world subscribes to. If your wife is moved out, move some girls in. That's what Thor would do. Why would you try to maintain a Christian basis for marriage when you don't subscribe to the underlying belief system? Your wire has clearly been in an open marriage since the beginning. She has little respect for you. OP responds. She slept with Michael, one guy, no excuse but though. My beliefs are strong with marriage still, just like all the normal Christian folks. We believe in our word and we believe in marriage. My wife too, but she's goofy and screwed up. More than me for being a jerk. Sure, I know what I have to do. I'm here at this moment in time for comfort, hoping I can find someone to talk to me. I don't give two chits whether it's drag racing, haunted houses, or my crumbling marriage. I just slapped myself. Hard. I have 5 little digits bruised on my face. Didn't feel a thing. I'm drunk. I know. I'm sorry, but I couldn't go to sleep. Tried. Yeah, I know. It's too much, but maybe the fear of being alone, with a 3-year-old daughter in the mix, is what's scaring me. I don't know. I hate myself. I really do. For one, being a jerk to my loving wife, believe it or not, she was really great for a long time. The other stuff really happened when she was younger. But no excuse. Still, I know. But I hate myself too, for allowing this to continue. I'm trying to go to bed. I feel horrible, but I'm going to try. I need to leave, but my heart still wants her. What the hell do I do? She said she wants us to work things out but was afraid of me not getting better and the fact she may do it again. She's telling me she's worried about doing it again. What else do I need? Jesus, how do I get out of this? She said in the end she wants us to work things out. Said there was no excuse for what she did, but still. She did it, twice. She even said, do I need to leave us for you? Can you not do it? I said no, I can't, but I also want us to work. I stopped drinking. I don't want to drink anymore and it's been forever since I got drunk. She told me you reek of alcohol. I said that didn't stop you at the party. I know, shouldn't have said that, but she replied, yeah, but that was a bunch of them. She said I was an ass when I drank. When she was waking me up and getting me to my room, she was laughing. Until I remembered why I was drunk and got sad. Then she cried with me. She doesn't want to do this to me again, she said. I need out. I know this, but it's so hard telling my heart this. She said this morning she's sorry for being a horrible person and didn't mean for any of this to happen and was sorry for all the pain she's put me through. She held my hand as we went to drop off the kiddo at daycare. Then we went to Walmart and got some donuts and took her to work. That's where she said most of the stuff. She gave me a hug and kiss on the cheek. I told her last night, if she wanted out, then ducking, just say so and let's get the ball rolling. Somehow in the mix, her reply, I think I said something like it's over, or something, and she said, well, my bags are packed yet. I just want you to sleep in the other room, at least just for tonight, and we'll talk tomorrow. I slept in my room. Couldn't sleep much, so at about 3:30, I took off. I stayed gone till about 7 a.m. this morning. I was all like, yeah, duck this, I'm out. Go inside. She asked where I went and I told her running around. Did it make you mad? She said no. She said last night it didn't bother her to think about me being with someone else. So, I figure that's what that was about. I have to keep a straight head. Plus, I'm not that way anymore. I've been working on trying to get a hold of Phone Carrier to get process started for getting transcripts of the text history of last 60 days. May have to have court order. Then I'm trying to get my other ducks in a row in order to try and take over this whole thing. Lisa's in her name, so that'll be a pain. But yeah, I'm trying, guys. I really am. I don't know how I'll be when I see her again, but we'll see. Well, I broke the news to her a few minutes ago. Told her I plan on filing after the haunt. She sighed when I said it. Told her how I felt and that I was tired of being the only one working on salvaging our marriage. Told her I was scared for our kid to stay with her and all that. She said, if it comes to that, we don't have to spend all the money. We can do our own agreement. I'm not going to be a bee about it. She didn't have much to say about the whole thing. So, I left the room. It hurts, but needs to be done. Here's our dilemma. Long story short, again, we're talking about things. We both don't really want a divorce. She holds my hand and tells me she loves me. She'll always love me, even though the worst of fights and drama sessions. Not a lot of them either, but she said the only reason for her issues is that she loves me, but the feelings she thinks she should have been there. She's not attracted to me. She said if she had that, there wouldn't be a problem. Now, we did determine that she only lost the attraction after the blow-up fight and her cheating, but she swears she doesn't want another man. I'm trying to be trusting and believe her. Failed. Again. Fell into a trap. Yesterday she started coming more and more open and started grabbing my hand, etc. Then she got fired today. So, we came home, I held her and she cried on my shoulder. She did say she didn't know if she wanted to be held or not. But I stood there in front of her on the bed and she got up and said, poor guy, don't know what to do, and gave me a hug and pulled me to the bed. Then we decided to go eat. I took her to steakhouse and had a steak, etc. On the way there she was playing with my hair and back of my neck. Held my hand. put her arm around my back when we came home. Then she tells me she's not happy, can't trust me because of 11 bad years, etc. Then said, I'm a horrible wife. Why you wanting to be with me? I've done horrible things recently. Why are you even still here? So, I told her I loved her and that was why, and we stopped everything there. She sobered up quickly and that was it. She fell asleep and I took her new phone. She had been deleting every text sent and received as they come and go. Nothing was in inbox and there's no deleted folder to go through. She's still hiding something, isn't she? I called her old friend. She was texting during the movie, etc. I asked, is that Scarlett, another one of her friends? And she said, yeah. When I looked at the phone, there was 2 or 3 texts to that old guy friend of hers. So, I called him. He said he'd been divorced 4 times and he's not a home wrecker and would send me all the texts to my phone. Hasn't done it yet. He seemed legitimately concerned, but yeah, bull crap, I figure. Oh well, I think I'll take my baby and go to the lawyer tomorrow. I'm so sick of this. Listen to this. We were on our way to drop my wife off and I was taking our girl to my mom's. On the way to the house, wife and I were talking. She came up with the fact that we moved our anniversary to Halloween. Then she made a remark that so do I have a bit more time, or to that effect. I'm sick to my stomach at this point. I'm telling myself every 2 minutes that it's done. Go file. Go file. Go file. I don't need her anymore. Well, she had been saying that she loved me but not like that anymore for a while. I'm staying till Sunday and once the hearse gets fixed, billboard for the haunted house. I'm going back to my mother's for the week. I'll drive it around down there for advertisement. That town is 3 times the size we're in and only 20 minutes away. This will also give her some time. I'll completely not text or call at all during that week. She admitted to only saying divorce earlier when we were working on pumpkins, that it was because I gave her the ultimatum. She hasn't texted anyone yet that she decided on that. She tells everyone everything, so I'm thinking it may be a plan. But also, that could be my mind's way of having hope to deal with it. I can't help but to see myself having to pick up Jordan every other week at the daycare, etc. Not being able to say goodnight to her every night bothers me. It's hard, but we have to get through it. Bad night already. Then she admitted to being moody and I saw her give money to the OM tonight. No, they didn't talk much and stayed away, and OM is flirting with my actress that I have on my drill table. So I am pretty sure their fling is over. My wife is an emotional wreck. She's just trying to be strong and such. She is going through as much as I am. She's just being affected by it differently. I think she still wants to live her teen years, although she says she doesn't. I pissed her off with the money thing. I mean, I could have sworn I saw her hand him a square fold of money. I asked what that was and she said nothing. I whispered and she said her answer out loud hatefully. So I got defensive and I said, bull crap, I saw you give him money. That's not nothing. I asked him to pull his hands out of pocket, 2 20s folded up. She said, he was just giving me my lighter back, OP. So yeah, she admitted to being moody and said that the money he had was from his mom because he has her car. Anyways, yeah, I was on set tonight and it like slapped me in the face. What the hell am I doing wanting this woman still? So, I'm hopefully have more sauce to stay on my 180 and keep it up. I need to so badly. I think I know the reason why the 180 didn't work for me. Because I didn't believe it. One of my issues was I was manipulative. I would say certain things to pull a response from someone on a different subject entirely just to get my answer. Things like that. Well, I'm not like that anymore, so the thing is, it wasn't real. So, I think I was having trouble with it. Now, I think it's clicked. I hope it has. I feel much better this morning and I truly want to love myself and be happy with myself no matter what. I got to thinking about everything in this ordeal, and it's just not worth it anymore. She's the one that had the problem and used every little issue as an excuse to do what she wanted to do. Her name is on the lease, so I can't force her to leave, but I can ignore the duck out of her. But I won't be rude, I'll just be passive and let her go on her merry way. She's a cheating bee, plain and simple. She chose to cheat, instead of trying harder to reach me in conversation. Her fault, not mine. I'm willing to change everything now, and be a better person for myself first. And she's still wanting to throw away 11 years and a great family. She isn't right in the head. But whatever, I also know that she is losing her friends. They're doing less with her, and the volunteers that she uses to hang with are leaving her alone because they're tired of her bull crap and talking about the drama all the time. She's depressed now because of this, and I know it. So great timing. Hopefully she'll feel like crap afterwards and have a taste of her own medicine. Her head isn't screwed on right and I'm tired of it. I can stick by the woman I love only for so long through mud and muck. She won't leave, so I am. I can't stand it anymore. I'm packing my things and leaving the haunt to her. I'm taking the truck and she can have everything else. Yesterday, after eating supper with the girls, I got home and we were calmly talking. 1. She was upset when I made her think I had paid a lawyer. Then, we were talking later and she said a few more phrases. I just don't love you anymore. I'm sorry I said it all. Her, no, not really. Then I was asking her about all the time prior to the kids showing up around, how she would come to me and tell me how happy she was and how much she loved me and how I'd better not leave her. She said because at that particular time I was happy and thought my life was going in a good direction. Those were happy times for me, but I don't want that anymore. I don't want you to make me feel that way. Yeah, even trying my 180 and doing okay. That hurt. Tons. I didn't break down then, and I'm proud of myself. But I don't believe her, not really. She was too happy before the teens showed up. It was like a light switch. There's this girl is so into me, already talking about things that we shouldn't. She's very pretty, young, but I'm not looking for long-term relationship or anything, just to feel better, I guess. But I don't even want her. All I can keep thinking about is the wife. How do you get over this? I can't bring myself to hate her. I've tried. I've cussed at her, everything I could think of. I just can't hate her. Another thing she said that bothers me is, used to she would say if I could go back, I'd tell you that I wasn't happy with this or that, but yesterday she kept saying if I could go back, I'd left sooner. Ouch, I still don't feel this is true. My other therapist is saying to not listen to what she's saying. Said to think back to the 180. Don't listen to anything they say and believe 50% of what I see. Don't know. Even pulling away, I still feel so much hurt. I'm apparently still in the game. She's already packed and moving into her brother's place. Her brothers are all old enough to be her daddy. This brother she's moving in with is very strong in beliefs against divorce. I sent them a FB message telling them what was going on. They never responded, but I don't know if they get on FB much. However, she's already moving in with them. The place will be deserted by this weekend. All I have to get is the haunt's contents and tools. All my personal stuff is already moved as well. Yes, I think reality will hit and she will definitely end up not happy with her situation. But, honestly, I can't wait either. I'd like her to feel just a touch of what I've been feeling for over 2 months. I would love to have my old wife back, but she may be gone forever. Maybe I'm just scared to get into these situations that so many others are and that's around me. There's literally a handful of people that have had this very same thing happen. 1 to 3 years later, I have been doing okay. Well, for the most part, I'm okay with the separation and heck, even divorce. My focus is now on myself, bettering myself for the remainder of my life and focusing on my kid. However, I've had a slow day today, been thinking about things. My wife acted very happy before the events. It was a blow up at the beginning of Sept. We were building a haunt and she got really close to some 19-year-old. When we had a fight about her spending all her extra time with the guys, not giving any us time, she kicked me out. I lived in the theater room, then wanted me gone from the home, haunt, then cheated, then been a fight ever since. False R about 3 to 4 weeks ago. Failed in a week. She changed her mind and went to, I love you but not in love with you speech etc. OM is out of the picture. Haunt is over. And yet, the thing that really gets me is she's acting like I'm the one who cheated. Makes no sense to me. However, she's gotten fired from her job and now has 2 part-timers and has a ton of more younger friends again from working at the movie theater etc. I don't suspect another OM but only no proof or weird actions on her end. We've moved out. I'm with a friend, she with a brother. Has anyone seen this kind of behavior? Yes, I flirted with a girl as well, but I realized what I was doing and quit. Asked her to stop her flirting and it just got worse the more volunteers showed up. But it's all over with now and she's treating me like I'm the cheating spouse. It baffles me. She was also on antidepressants at the time. For 5 months. Weeks later, suddenly my STBX has been asking every chance if I'd sign the papers. It's Dick. 5. We started a business, haunted house, and have about 15,000 at least in receipts. The haunt brought in under 6,000. She failed to get rest of marketing done so it bombed. She also worked up until about 2 months ago, right after our fight, back in August, maybe 2 weeks or so after. She gathered up all of the receipts from the haunt and took them to her sister-in-law's. She's the one that's been doing our taxes. Does this sound like a reason she'd be trying to hurry up and get papers signed, so she can get D before tax cut off and claim head of household? Some of that money was mine. She wanted to bring Jordan, our daughter, over to do a gift exchange and watch a movie and talk. We didn't talk much till we got her to the house. I had to pick her up, went to Walmart and got some stuff, came to my place, swapped gifts. We both did pictures with frames. She really liked her gift. I didn't give her the frame I originally intended but got her a nice one from Walmart. Put pics of her and her daddy and her mom in there. She hugged me for the gift and said thank you very sincerely. We watched Spider-Man. Jordan between us towards the end. Her hand was cupped over Jordan's leg which was over mine. She then started to scratch, rub my leg. I noticed she realized what she was doing and she didn't stop immediately. Mine got to racing, telling me I shouldn't be here. Finished the movie, which was pretty decent. I enjoyed it. Then, I gave her the divorce papers I had signed. She looked down at them and said, "Did you get them signed?" Like she was surprised a bit and thought for a sec and said thank you in a low tone. Took her to the house. We chatted about having fun tonight. Then at her place we started talking about the BS that happened and why her family is all mad at me. There was a hacking of her FB that told everyone she was a lying, cheating, backstabbing spouse. I didn't do it. Everyone assumed it was me. I got it back and took it off. She says she told them it wasn't me. They don't believe her, us. So, in this conversation she was talking about moving off for a job and I said, "What? Not even thinking about me?" She said, "Of course I'm thinking of you. I don't want to take Jordan from you and I don't want to." This went on for about 5 more minutes. No arguing at all. Just calm discussions, and then I let it slip. I asked her if she even thought about calling, just to talk. She said no, not really. I mean, maybe a little bit once in a while. Coming from my ex-best friend, hurts a lot. I signed the papers today. I gave them to her. She told me she doesn't even want to talk to me. But then I think, watch what they do, not what they say. We did just spend 4 to 5 hours together between shopping, gifts, movie, etc. People have it right when they say this is the worst thing they've ever gone through in their life. I don't think anything can top this. I'm battle-worn, scorned, beaten up, hurting and tired, sick and tired. I was ready to throw in the towel, hence why I got up and went and signed the papers. But it was much harder than I expected. Think I'm just going to try to kick back and finish healing. She is weak. I don't need a weak person. I'll strengthen back up and try to enjoy my new life. Today, I got 2 girls to come over that I met online. Both are very cute and my age. One has no kids, one has a kid, and both seem very cool. They both know my situation and are very respectful. One started flirting hard with me and the other said, "Hey, he's still married. Back off a bit." Just after that she said she thought I was divorced. Had to explain it lol. She said, "Damn," in a joking manner. "I kind of feel like 2 schoolgirls are tearing apart a baby doll they both want to play with." Definitely a huge boost to the confidence meter. I have been playing my games and noticing myself not getting down as much. I still listen to my music, but I think it's mainly forcing the pain and tears out to run dry. I think it's about run its course. I've been out a few times with girls and I'm just not ready for anything right now. I'm working on getting a job. Good job, so I can afford my own place to where I can keep my baby for a week at a time without worry. We've already seen issues with Jordan and her going back and forth. STBX finally admitted to seeing things already with her. I told her yup, and it's going to get worse. I have been out to McDonald's with her and the baby a few times. Supposed to have watched a movie I don't know how many times now, but never fails to have something come up. I feel done now. I am just tired of feeling this way. I'm better than this. Yes, ultimately, I'd still like to piece my family back together. But not with this monster I see now. Maybe a better person if the monster ever leaves, but nah. Not with her now. Update, I'm still slipping. A lot sometimes, grieving the loss of the marriage, accepting it more and more each day. I'm playing games and getting on with my life. Still no work yet. Going again Monday to look. Hoping to get in some factory. I don't care, I need money. This tore me up something fierce, man. I look back on some of the things I wrote. Wow, this has been brutal on me. I know why my anxiety is still an issue. I realize my wife is a monster right now, and I realize that she is still sick with depression and may or may not be in a midlife crisis. But after her telling me this last time to not stand by her, that was it. She's conscious, she's thinking, may not be thinking right, but she was able to process what I said, and if she doesn't want me to be there for her, duck her. I still love her, but I don't need her. That's for damn sure. I do not need this bull crap in my life. It's too much. It's going to cut my life short with all the depression. I'm having to take antidepressants myself now. So, I'll start doing better once I find work and a better place so I can keep my kiddo for a full week plus 2 days at a time. I'm trying to not be bitter and angry. That's part of my changing. So, I can't allow them to overcome me any longer. Not to say emotions don't run high at times, but I at least can control my anger and resentment to a new low. If not gone, I feel better. But whatever, I'm dark on her again. I don't want to talk to her unless it's time for me to get my daughter. No dreams last night. Well, nothing about her. No nightmares. Been gone for a while. I feel better about myself. I feel stronger. I feel more confident and know what I have to offer. And even though I may have changed for myself because of her, I'm afraid someone else is going to reap the benefits. That's okay too. I don't care as long as my daughter is happy and I am too. I'm trying to care less and less about her. Make me sad sometimes because I know we didn't have many problems before, and if people come out of things like this stronger, wow, what a are that could be. But I don't ponder on it anymore. I don't look at her stuff anymore. I don't have her followed, not in a long time. I don't go to her work and see if she's there, and a damn mouse just ran right past my feet. Got to get that crap taken care of. Weeks later, I divorced her first on Facebook. Someone here said don't do that. So I changed it. She never accepted back the marriage thing. So, I put on they're separated. I unfriended her so I wouldn't see her updates. There wasn't many. About a year later, I'm 5 days from 1 year divorce anniversary and I've been dating. Has sucked, but found an old girlfriend from back when I was like 20. We were both played by a so-called friend because he wanted to sleep with her. He basically broke us up. We were kids and communication weren't that high yet, so we both took what we were told as truth. Now, here we are. She's widowed for 2 years now. We're doing the 50 questions thing. One of hers being about friends of opposite gender and how I would handle her being friends with a guy she was once intimate with. So, I asked her how she'd handle her emotional affair if she found herself in one, and she did say work on it ourselves or with counseling. But she said, I couldn't imagine leaving my job after 8 years because of it, just to get away from the partner. I'm curious, am I being oversensitive or anything to letting this bother me? She's an ex from when we were 20, broken up by a mutual friend who wanted her. We started talking on a dating site. She hadn't been logged in forever, and I noticed that when I hit send, she responded in 5 minutes. Said I hadn't been on here in a long time, just wanted to say hi since I saw your message. She didn't realize I had just sent it. Soon we realized who each other were, and it flew off. Met last night, ended with a very passionate kiss and talks of missing each other. We were both hurt because of what we believed by our mutual toxic friend. We're doing the 50 questions, trying to figure out if we share the same values. Her response to affair is working on it together. I wouldn't leave you for someone. We work on it, by ourselves or with therapy if needed, but fixing to converse on boundaries and see where that goes. To me it's half and half so far. My comment, what advice you guys have for OP? And what did you think about this? Comment down below. Sub and bell, and we got one more story today. Stay tuned.
Alright, everyone's presentations are done. Nick, the manager, said as he tried to move the discussion forward. Excuse me, I haven't. I recently found out something. Nick interrupted me and began to speak. There's apparently someone in this department who didn't graduate high school and is just a part-timer. Meetings should be for employees only. Absolutely right. His lackey, Mike, of course, agreed with Nick. I'm leaving. After leaving the meeting room, I started to shut down my computer. I noticed that an email had arrived, not in my personal inbox, but in the company's shared email. Thinking, there's no point in speaking up, no one will listen, I went home quietly. The next day, I heard a commotion from Nick's desk. He was staring at his computer screen, his face pale. Nick? Is something wrong? Mike looked at the screen with him. And he turned even paler than Nick. Why is he so angry? Knowing the reason for Mike's distress, I thought to myself, serves them right. My name is Adam. My mother passed away when I was in the 9th grade, and I was raised by my father. Well, you could hardly call it being raised. After my mother passed, my father changed. He drowned his sorrows in alcohol, and though he still went to work, he squandered our living expenses on horse racing. Because of that, I had to start working part-time as soon as I entered high school. Every month, I went to the convenience store with bills in hand that couldn't be auto-deducted from my father's account. Even though I endured it because I didn't want to be alone, I reached my limit in my 2nd year of high school and dropped out. I found a live-in job at a distant inn. Thank you for everything. The day I left home, my father, still staring at the TV, spoke. Take care. That was our last conversation. Back then, 18 wasn't the age of majority, so I needed my father's permission to work, and I couldn't hide my place of employment. Yet, my father never visited me even once. I kept working just to survive, and before I knew it, I was 42. Years of hard work paid off, and I was transferred to the headquarters. I was thrilled to be recognized by the company, as I thought I'd be working in the field until retirement due to my lack of formal education. Listen up. Our work can change the future of our employees. Don't drag us down. On my first day after the transfer, Nick, dressed in an expensive suit, spoke sternly. There was a reason for this. Our inn was located in a prominent tourist destination, known so well that everyone in the state could sing its commercial jingle. At its peak, we had 5 locations within the state. But that was long ago. Due to financial difficulties and aging facilities, only the place where I had worked for many years and the original establishment remained. I was prepared to lose my job anytime, but now there was a glimmer of hope. With the rise of social media, the tourist area where the inn was located started gaining attention again. Depending on how hard the sales department, where I was transferred, worked, we could either thrive or be forced to give up this prime location to the new hotel chains continuously popping up. For Nick, who had switched careers from another industry to strengthen our sales, this was a battle he couldn't afford to lose. I understood why he had to be strict. I will do my best. Nick sneered at my enthusiastic declaration. Did you not hear what I said? I'm sorry. I thought I was listening carefully. Out of habit from years of customer service, I apologized reflexively, though I had no idea what had offended him. Someone was watching me with a smirk. In this department, there are those who are expected to excel and those who have been shoved here because they have nowhere else to go. You are the latter. It was Mike, the section chief. He's 7 years younger, at 35. But he was called to headquarters much earlier than I was and had been moving around within the headquarters ever since. I'm not jealous, but I can't accept that he's my boss. Graduating from a prestigious university, he has an unusually high pride and caused many problems as a newbie, making things very difficult for me when I was the front desk leader. When I found out Mike was transferred to the sales department a month before me, I was disheartened. Mike is right. With just a middle school diploma, there's not much you can do. Don't even think about achieving results. As if I didn't exist, Nick remarked, "I'm thirsty." Mike eagerly ran to the coffee maker. It seems Mike is Nick's lackey. I regretted being happy about my transfer to headquarters, wishing I had stayed on site forever. Send a direct mail to every company on this list by the end of the day. Nick only assigned me tasks that even a new graduate could handle. What? There are over 1,000 companies. You want me to send to all of them by today? Yes, if you and your fellow misfits split the work, even those with nowhere else to go should finish by today. I glanced at the employees typing away expressionlessly. They were worn out from customer service, only thinking about leaving on time, or were women reassigned after having children, with zero motivation for work. Even Sam, a new graduate from the same university as Mike, who was supposed to be among the expected achievers, had no enthusiasm for the job, having joined the company wanting to do customer service. I don't care what they say, I plan to quit any time, he said. Only Nick and Mike were highly motivated, making all the decisions between the two of them. I originally only wanted to work at the inn to survive and had no particular attachment to this job. I swallowed my words, thinking I had no right to reprimand them. About a month after the transfer, Nick told us with a frustrated look. To commemorate the 50th anniversary, we've decided to create a plan exclusive for one group per day. Originally, Mike and I were supposed to come up with it, but our president, Mr. Thompson, insists on hearing everyone's opinions. So, you all get a chance. As Nick explained, Mike began handing out prints. Make sure not to embarrass Nick. If your ideas are half-baked, you'll have to redo them. It seemed that they had printed his handwritten notes by Mr. Thompson, which included several questions and a section for free responses. It made sense why Nick had to seek our input, given that all responses had to be submitted to Mr. Thompson. We were given a week to think about it, and a meeting was scheduled to compile our ideas. My plan is to let guests enjoy both the old and modern America. Nick began the presentations. Guests would watch a master confectioner at a nearby traditional sweet shop make sweets in front of them. The welcome drink would be premium tea in a bottle. Nick's plan was certainly attractive. After his presentation, Nick called on us to present in the order we were seated. Just as I stood up for my turn. All right, everyone's presentations are done. Excuse me, I haven't. I recently found out something. Nick interrupted me. There's someone in this department who didn't graduate high school and is just a part-timer. He was likely talking about me. I joined the company as a part-timer and was made a full-time employee when I turned 20. That was 20 years ago, so Nick and Mike probably had no chance to know until recently. Meetings should be for employees only. Absolutely right. After that, Nick kept creating opportunities to solicit everyone's opinions, purposefully excluding me from speaking. The meeting unexpectedly heated up and went past the scheduled end time. A few people asked to leave, and the discussion continued with the remaining few. Still here? Normally, you'd leave in that situation. Though I had no attachment to the job initially, hearing kind words from customers made me want to make them happier. For someone like me, with nowhere to go, the inn was my home and customer service was my life. I felt pathetic about my current self. I'm leaving. I left the conference room and started shutting down my computer. I noticed an email had arrived, not in my personal inbox, but in the company's shared email. Thinking no one would listen to what I had to say anyway, I quietly went home. The next day, while preparing the DM as instructed, I heard a commotion from Nick's desk. In his haste to stand up, he hit his knee on the desk. He stared at his computer screen, his face pale. "Nick! What's wrong?" Mike, thinking he should be the first to rush over, approached Nick while still wearing his coat. He peered at the screen with Nick. And he turned even paler than Nick. Why is he so angry? Who is responsible for this company? Nick, more irritated than ever, asked, and Mike answered without checking. Probably Sam. Sam wasn't there because he was attending a morning training session for new hires. Nick gave up on getting angry and returned his gaze to the screen. They were looking at an email that arrived right after the end of the working day yesterday. Apparently, no one, including me, had checked it before leaving. The email was from a large company that used us for their annual employee trips. The president and executives of that company also frequently used our services personally. President of the company, Mr. Mason himself, had declared that neither he nor his company would ever use our services again. Well, some companies cancel their employee trips or stop using our services due to financial struggles. Let's just move on. Mike kept wiping the sweat from his forehead with a handkerchief. Knowing why Mike was so agitated, I quietly watched their interaction. Do you know how much revenue we get from that company? We can find other guests to fill the rooms, but we'll lose the banquet costs, gift shop revenue, rental car fees, and more. Moreover, the gifts were supposed to be prepared by the traditional confectionery shop involved in Nick's proposed plan. If it's known that we incurred such a huge loss at this critical time, Nick's position in the company would be jeopardized. Nick took a deep breath, seemingly trying to calm himself. All right, Mike. Go to New York right now and apologize to Mr. Mason. What? You're coming with me, right? I have urgent work to do. I trust you, which is why I'm entrusting this to you. Please. Mike, believing Nick's sincerity, agreed with a determined look on his face, saying, yes. That's Nick for you. Even if Mike went to apologize, Nick would shift all the blame onto him if the client didn't change their mind. Well, it was Mike's fault to begin with, so it served him right. About 3 hours later, Sam answered a call from somewhere and repeatedly apologized, saying, I'm very sorry. Everyone watched to see what was happening. After ending the call, he informed Nick with a weary tone. When Mike arrived at the client's company, he only made things worse, further infuriating Mr. Mason. He was demanding, get his boss here immediately. It was no wonder Sam was exhausted, dealing with such a call right after returning from training. What is that idiot doing? All right, Adam, you're coming with me. If sacrificing Mike didn't work, then I must be next. Normally, I'd want to refuse at all costs, but I saw an opportunity in this situation. If I can be of assistance, I'd be happy to join you. I obediently followed Nick, and we flew to New York. When we introduced ourselves at the reception, it became clear how serious the situation was, as the receptionist personally escorted us to the president's office. Angry voices leaked through the door, making both Nick and me uneasy. Excuse me. I'm Nick, the supervisor. I understand my subordinate has caused you trouble, and I deeply apologize. Nick, with his experience in the corporate world, knew enough to offer an apology before excuses. However, his customer service skills left much to be desired. I sighed as I saw Mike trembling like a small dog in the corner of the room. What kind of training are you giving your subordinates? Mr. Mason glared at Nick with a red face. The intensity of his gaze made even Nick take a step back. Regrettably, I joined this company only 2 years ago and was unaware of Mike's issues. I should have identified his shortcomings sooner. Indeed. I should have realized sooner. No sensible person would come to apologize and then give a lengthy presentation on the drawbacks of not using their in. Nick froze, his mouth slightly open. Suspecting the worst, I picked up the documents that had fallen to the floor. It seemed Mike hastily prepared these documents on the plane, listing the disadvantages. Disadvantage 1, if you change the venue for the company trip, employees might suspect it's for cost-cutting reasons, leading to a negative impression. Reading it aloud half-jokingly, Nick snatched the papers from my hand and checked the contents with a furious expression. Among the stack of documents was a receipt from a nearby convenience store's copy machine. I felt a pang of dread, hoping he hadn't shown the receipt as well. What do you think he said when I asked what kind of nerve he had to do this? I'm very sorry. Faced with the dire situation, Nick must have thought there was nothing left to do but apologize. In a voice smaller than I'd ever heard from him, he uttered words of apology. He said, "I'm a Harvard graduate. I don't believe I said anything wrong." Mike! What have you done? Forgetting his plan to pin the blame on Mike, Nick yelled loudly, even in front of Mr. Mason. "I didn't do anything wrong." "You're still saying that? Look at him." Mike pointed at me with a shaking hand. "I was assigned to headquarters in my 20s and now I'm a section chief. This guy only made it to headquarters at 42. Everything I've done proves I was right. So why are we losing the contract?" Having said his piece, Mike collapsed to the floor. "Of course. You were sent there because you had nowhere else to go." Mike never expected to hear such words from someone he looked down upon. He lunged at me, and Nick hurriedly stepped in to stop him. "Mr. Thompson told me Mike is a quick thinker, and to take good care of him." There's no way he was pushed aside. "Don't make things worse here." "He didn't say quick thinker, he said only quick-witted, didn't he?" I don't remember that part. I recalled the many troubles Mike caused when he was a newbie. When Mike was on the front line, his pride was so high that he never apologized to customers. Customer service, especially in our job, doesn't work alone. It brings both good and bad situations. If the front staff or housekeepers made mistakes, or the cleaning company didn't properly clean a room, one had to apologize to the customers regardless of personal fault. Mike, in such situations, would never apologize, insisting he wasn't at fault. This often angered customers, and as the front desk leader, I frequently had to apologize on his behalf. He caused complaints and disrupted operations, which is why he was quickly moved to headquarters. In departments where he didn't interact directly with customers, his quick thinking was beneficial and things went well. But it seemed his flaws were starting to show. Corporate reservations are supposed to be entered into the system by the sales representative. But a quick check yesterday revealed that more than 10 items were missing from the client's reservation. The handover document clearly stated what needed to be prepared. Why didn't you enter it into the system? Why do we have to give them special treatment? Filling rooms near the banquet hall, setting up all the food in advance. Specifying the brand of wine, they're too demanding. No wonder he always angered customers, I thought, feeling a headache coming on. Grouping them in rooms near the banquet hall is for our benefit too. It makes it easier for the staff to set up beds and serve breakfast since everyone's schedule is synchronized. As for the other requests, Mr. Mason suggested them to lighten our load. I didn't know that. Nick finally seemed to realize that Mike was the one who had angered the client. What did you say to them? I just told them we wouldn't give them special treatment anymore. We shouldn't waste effort on things that don't bring in money. I was utterly exasperated at his lack of understanding of customer service. Of course, we shouldn't comply with unreasonable demands. But carrying over successful practices from past stays makes customers feel remembered and enhances their experience. Good memories encourage repeat visits. That's part of our job. I looked down at Mike, who was sitting on the floor. In our job, nothing is a waste. Mr. Thompson likely moved you to the sales department, hoping you'd finally understand this. How do you think he feels now that you've failed to meet his expectations? Mike, tears in his eyes, fled the president's office. I was amazed he still hadn't apologized. You have it tough, Adam. It's okay, we're all employees of the same company. I deeply apologize for this disrespectful incident. Especially after all the care you've shown us. If it weren't for you, Adam, I really would have stopped staying here. When I heard you were moving to the sales department, I was willing to reconsider if you handled it. Seeing us talk so amicably, Nick's face contorted. Do you two know each other? Adam's service is excellent. I always requested him specifically. Normally, we don't accept specific staff requests, but we made an exception for Mr. Mason, adjusting my shifts accordingly. He had personally stayed at our hotel just before my transfer, and during casual conversation, I mentioned, I'm moving to the sales department soon. If I hadn't told him then, things could have been much worse. Please continue to take care of us. I look forward to it. On the return flight, Nick awkwardly offered me a can of beer. It's still working hours. Of course, I had no intention of forgiving him for a single beer. Nick might try to pin everything on Mike and avoid any consequences. While pondering this, a startling fact came to light. Nick, the tea bottles for the plan have arrived. I handed Nick a bottle labeled with our inn's name. They look good. What are you talking about? These are plastic bottles. I had assumed we would use the trendy, high-end bottling tea. But what arrived were ordinary plastic bottles of tea with customized labels. The only unique aspect was the label, which had the inn's name, making it look customized. Upon further investigation, I discovered that a substantial amount of money was set to be paid to the tea company. It was priced like bottling tea. Does this plastic bottle really cost $100 each? The tea inside is specially blended for us. The extra cost is for that. Wouldn't it be better to use another tea company? Or is there a specific reason we must use this one? As Nick continued to make excuses, I showed him a printed email. I informed the tea company's president, Mr. Mitchell, that we discovered irregular payments and he confessed. He said you two were high school classmates and planned to split the extra money. That idiot. Why did he confess? That's not important. You should worry about yourself, this could turn into a police matter. Opening the bottle cap, I suggested. How about calming down with this tea? It supposedly has a relaxing effect. Nick drank the tea frantically. In the following days, decisions were made about their fates. Mike was reassigned to the General Affairs Department, with no chance of transfer or promotion, as per Mr. Thompson's orders. As for Nick, since the payment to the tea company hadn't yet been made, he narrowly avoided legal trouble. Instead, he was encouraged to leave the company, and to avoid further complications, Nick submitted his resignation. Rumor has it that connections between HR departments have made it difficult for him to find new employment. Even though it was good to have those two gone, something unexpected happened in the sales department. Everyone became motivated and united in refining the 50th anniversary plan. In the end, my plan was adopted. We collaborated with the Tourist Information Center to provide personalized guides. The plan, tailored to the number of guests, was truly special for the 50th anniversary. Hey, is Adam's family coming to stay? I immediately booked that special plan for my family. Sam noticed it on the reservation list and quickly picked up on it. Yes, I'm inviting my father. That's great. I might invite my parents too. I lacked the courage to face my father just as Adam. But here, with the confidence Mr. Mason praised, I felt ready. The 50th anniversary plan was a perfect opportunity to reconnect with my father. I hoped to bring back the days when we could laugh together as we once did.